What is up, YouTube? Alright guys, I'm gonna do a update on the 99 Suburban. As y'all know, I did get it running. I changed out the cap and rotor on this thing, plugs and wires all at the same time. Alright, so check engine light on this thing went off for a little bit, and then check engine light came back on. Well, come to find out, it's throwing a cylinder 8 misfire again. So I was like, all right. So I went ahead and pulled number 8 plug on it. Come to find out, plug's a little bit black. Not horrible black, but it is a little bit black on a couple sides, and then it's wet. It's got gas on it. Smells like gas. All right. I'll put it back in and check the oil. Oil's got gas in it as well. A lot of gas. I mean, it's very strong in gas smell. So, I mean, we already knew, and we were just talking about the spider injector on this thing once before. So that's what I'm going to be doing next on this truck, is replacing the spider injector. Because what's happening is, when you shut the vehicle down, the spider injector stays open. It don't close like it should. So when the spider injector sticks open, it's allowing fuel to be dumped down into the cylinder. And over time, when that happens, gasoline will wash out the piston rings. And that is why there's gas in the oil. If this happens more and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, the gas will wash out the piston rings, and eventually when you go to start the vehicle up, the rings will end up breaking down, completely scoring up the cylinder walls, and then you're going to be looking at a rebuild. So that's not always a fun thing to run into. So I want to touch on a few things on this update of what's all going on with this truck and why things need to be done. Now, this truck hasn't had its maintenance for a long time. All right. So, and there's things that's breaking down, it's needing to be replaced, and one thing and another. So you can see that, how black that oil is. Okay, but then it smells like gasoline. Yes, very much so like gasoline. So the oil pan gasket also needs to be replaced because of the fact it is leaking. So that will be done as well, probably about the same time. When the spider injector gets replaced, I'll do the oil pan gasket and get this oil drain completely out of here. And what I'll do is run into partial synthetic in here, let it run for a little bit, get it all cleaned up, get the gas washed out, and then drain it, and then put full synthetic in, you know, just to help re-lube up anything that the gas might have, you know, washed out as far as oil. I know you're supposed to let these things sit and run. Any motor, you're supposed to let them sit and run, heat up, and get really good and hot. But I'm not going to do that right now. But I just want to show y'all back here another thing that's needing to be done on this truck. Transmission fluid. It's got a little red tint to it. That's not accurate reading because it's cold. But it's a little red tint to it, but it's brown. That definitely needs to be changed. So the transmission fluid and filter is going to get changed also on this truck. He said that his dad was talking about that it's shifting hard, so that is the main reason why it's shifting hard. It's not overly past due, so it's not slipping or anything. Transmission don't slip. I mean, I drove it the other day, just test driving it and everything down the road and back. But the transmission don't slip or anything, but it does kind of do a hard shift. So that's definitely need to be changed. This thing's also needing a brake flush done. And that's black. So I'm hoping when I get ready to do the flush, the brakes on the front are good. They got a lot of meat on them. The rotors are good. So I'm thinking it just needs a brake flush done, really. But when they get that black, you shouldn't even let it get that black, technically. If your brake fluid is clear, you're good. But if your brake fluid starts turning brownish to that color right there, you need a flush done, because what happens is trash can accumulate in the lines. Somehow, I don't know, but brake fluid, it does break down over time, can accumulate trash in the lines, and when you go to bleed your brakes, or if you're driving or something and all of a sudden, oh shit, I can't stop, more than likely the caliper, one of the calipers or two of the calipers, has completely seized up. That's why you need to do the flush on that. It can seize the calipers up. I don't know how many vehicles that I've done on brakes, and I've had to get new calipers because I could not push the piston down in the caliper. And that would be the reason why. I mean, I understand that calipers do get old after a while. The seals break down inside the caliper, and you can't get the piston pushed down like you need to. But, and just being old calipers. But I think the calipers are still fine on this truck for right now, but I will know more once I do a flush job on that and get new fluid put in and start doing that. So I wanted to touch bases on that. Thing is with this too, is that this thing's needing all new front end work. It's needing upper and lower control arms on it. Needs tie rods on it. It's pretty much all shot. I'm not sure too much on the wheel bearings right now until I get the other stuff figured out, because there's just too much play. There's too much slack. And the ball joints are, man, they're wore the hell out. So it's really kind of hard to tell if the wheel bearings are, going out. So I won't know until I get all that replaced. Right now it's just too hard to tell. Flywheel, I'm going to be doing the flywheel and also the rear main seal on this truck. Because when you go to start the vehicle, the starter will sit there and whine. It's like it'll engage. It engages, it starts the vehicle and everything, but it whines. And looking up underneath there, looking at the teeth on the flywheel, they're boogered up. And some of them are actually rounded. Some of them are actually rounded off. I mean, not rounded off, but they are rounded. The teeth are just rounded. So that's going to get changed along with the rear main seal. I don't think the rear main seal is leaking, but I'm already down that far. I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway. That way, I don't have to do the job twice. I'm already down that far. So, and I didn't replace the ABS sensor on this truck just yet. It's sitting back there in the box up on top. So I'll be getting to that shortly. I won't be doing anything today because it's cold and it's windy. I was figuring it's going to be warm today, so I might be able to do some work on something, but being out in the element's kind of rough. Like I said, it starts up fine. There's no rod knock. There's, so, it's not smoking or anything. But what you're hearing there, yeah, power steering. So I'm just going to shut it off right now. But, I'm thinking that the power steering gear box is pretty much shot. I'm thinking it's leaking. It just started doing that the other day. I checked the fluid. It does need fluid in there, so I know that's part of the reason, but the main reason is it's leaking somewhere, and I'm thinking it's in the gearbox. Same thing that's on that truck there. The gearbox is shot. I ain't even got no power steering in that truck at all, but it's got a new power steering pump in it, so just the gearbox in it just wore out. And I'm thinking it's the same with this one here, even though there is a little bit of power steering still. But over time, if that don't get fixed, it'll be like my truck and can't steer it too good. Check the brakes on it. The brake pads seem to have some good meat on the front. The rotors are good, I know that. But like I said, it's gonna have to have a flush done. I'm probably gonna crawl up underneath here because I want to show y'all on that flywheel. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what I'll do, just kind of give y'all some comparison here. Just a little bit of comparison. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the flywheel. Not gonna remove the flywheel. I'm just gonna show you in the box. This is a brand new flywheel, as you know. But I want y'all to take a look. And I'll be comparing both of these flywheels up to make sure they're both the same size and the teeth are matching up and all that stuff. But if you can look at the teeth on this, teeth are really good. Well, it's a brand new flywheel. I hope they're good. But I don't see any of them that are boogered up, which is not going to have that because it's brand new. Not saying that you won't get a flywheel that might be boogered up brand new, but the teeth look really good on it. On the other flywheel, the teeth are a little bit boogered up and they're a little bit rounded off on the edges. So it's pretty much wore out. And what's happening is that the starter, when it engages to the flywheel to get the motor to crank over, what's happening is the teeth on the starter are slipping off of the teeth on the flywheel, and it's causing the starter to make a noisy whine type noise when you go to turn the key over. So I'll be crawling up underneath the truck real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here and the reason why I'm replacing it, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. Hang on just one moment. So if y'all can see that, some of the teeth look okay, some of them not so okay. See how boogered up they are? Now sometimes what I've heard, you could also put shims on the starter to either back it out or a little bit or something. But if y'all can see those teeth on this flywheel, that flywheel is pretty much done for. Because what's going to happen over time is when these teeth get so bad boogered up and they get so far rounded off, it's not going to allow the starter, or the starter's not going to be able to engage. I mean, the starter will engage, but it'll slip off so bad that it'll end up burning up the starter over time, and or not even start the truck. Okay, so that's going to get done. The oil pan gasket's going to get done on this truck. If y'all can see how bad, let's see if I can get this thing turned around. Well, I'm sure y'all can probably see that, but oil pan gasket needs to be changed. So all that's going to get cleaned up and done. There's the power steering gearbox. There's the Pitman arm. So y'all can see how much oil and grease and stuff is going on in this area. So that's what's going on with it, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Be changing out the transmission fluid on this new gasket and filter and everything. It's not leaking back there or anything, so that's a plus. I'm not sure how these U-joints, I think they're U-joints. I'm not sure on how bad they are or anything like that. I won't know until I get all that, the drive shaft and all that stuff taken loose. I'm gonna get out from underneath here real quick. All right, so that's all gonna be done. I'm trying to think what else there is that I'm going to be replacing. I got the circuit boards for the brake lights fixed now, so all that's working. Turn signals are working now. I'm not sure on this here. Every time you push the high beams in, this light don't come on, but that one over there does. But when you turn the low beams on, then both of them are working. So I don't know, there's something going on with the wiring or something, so I'll have to get that figured out. But with all the work that I'm going to do, I mean, well, the parts and stuff that he's got to get, I mean, it's going to be around $1,000 and something in parts. And I know he's kind of thinking, well, you know, for that price, or $2,000 or something in parts, you know, probably just be best to sell it or get rid of the truck. But like I told him that, well, you know, you're spending this amount of money in parts, $1,000 in parts or whatever, for what's actually wrong with it, you know. And it's just minor stuff, you know. It's not, the motor still runs great, you know, it still shifts okay. I mean, it's hard shifting, but it still shifts okay. It just needs some tune-up. It needs, you know, fluids. It's, you know, needing flushes done. It's, you know, this and that. I mean, the thing's been way past due on maintenance, so it's time for things to go bad. That's any vehicle. I mean, if you don't keep up on the maintenance and stuff on them, they're going to break down on you, and there you are on the side of the road. But like I told him, that it's worth to put the money into this truck. It runs good. The motor sounds sound for the most part, besides that, you know, like I said, the cylinder 8 misfire, but that'll be all taken care of too. And the spider injector, so you think that spider injector is $289. That's that's about $300 probably after taxes, because they add that 9% tax on there. So say $300 on that spider injector. If that's the only thing that's causing gas to get down there, it's the only thing, you know, if it's sticking open, gas has got to go somewhere. So I mean, it's worth put the money into it. And then, you know, if he decides later on that he wants to sell the truck, hey, you know, he can sell the truck. And might get more than what he would get for it as it's sitting right now. So, I mean, probably the most he'd probably get out of this truck right now, probably about $1,500, maybe a little less, just because of all the stuff that's wrong with it. And if anybody's wanting to take the time to put the money into it. But we're wanting to put the money into it. I like to get it fixed for him. I like to get it running great for him, so his dad don't have to worry about breaking down on the side of the road. And that way he's got a good truck to drive. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some videos on this truck. This right now is just a update, kind of showing you where we're at right now, and showing how far I've got along. I know it's been a while, but it's going to get there. Little time and patience. I've got a couple of videos here on YouTube that shows on how to do front end alignments. And when I get ready to do the front end work on this truck and the tie rods and all that stuff, I want to show y'all how to do the front end alignment on this truck. So that way y'all know how and what to do. So this time I might actually do the jack standing string method when I get ready to do this, and I'm gonna probably put it up on the tire ramp, so that way I can actually crawl up underneath there and get a little bit more accurate reading on the alignment. So steering wheel's got a little slop in it, but that can all be tightened up with the gearbox. So, well, it's locked right now, but what I'm saying is hang on a minute, let me get the key out. Got a lot of slop in it. Oh. Yep. That gearbox is getting ready to go in this truck. But there's too much slop in that steering. But that gearbox is pretty much going in this truck. It probably, I mean, oh boy. So that's $123 on the gearbox. I don't have power steering fluid at the moment, and honestly, it shouldn't have tightened up that quick. Matter of fact, just because even it has a little bit of power steering fluid down in there, it should still have enough lubrication to allow the steering to actually move freely, even though it's going to be whining because of the pump, because there ain't hardly no fluid in it. But when it hardens up like that, really bad hardens up like that, more than likely it's going to be that gearbox, and it's wore out because there is grease, or there is oil and stuff, and I know that it's leaking from that area. It's not leaking from the power steering pump, but it's leaking at that gearbox. So that's probably going to be the very last thing that's going to get taken care of on that truck, on this truck, is that gearbox. My main concern about it is getting that gas out of it, get the spider injector fixed, and get the oil done in it, get the flywheel and rear main seal and everything done in it. That's my main concern, getting this thing going and getting this thing back up and running. The other stuff can be done last. But that's the update for this truck. I think I've covered everything for the most part. I don't think I'm forgetting anything on it, what I've come across. So, but I wanted to show y'all that on the oil and the transmission fluid of what I'm looking at right there. But like I say, that gas, I mean, that gas smell and that oil, man, it's freaking strong. So I've also replaced the front lens. It was all busted up before. Went ahead and replaced it off of another Chevrolet. The corner lens is a little bit busted there, but it's a lot better than what it was. It's gonna have to get new tires and stuff put on it, and I know he says something about he's gonna get new tires and stuff after the front end work and all that's done on it. And after all the work's done and everything gets accomplished on this truck, what I also like to do is I'm going to wash it and I'm going to clean it up for him, so that way it goes back, and I'll probably end up trying to polish out the rims too when time comes. But that way he gets a very clean truck back. Just kind of, I mean, it's something that I don't have to do, but way I am, anytime I work on anything, I would actually like to prefer to get the vehicle back in a clean, decent order to a customer or anybody, because that shows your appreciation that you have that much respect for somebody's vehicle. I know a lot of mechanic shops, you know, if you take your car to a mechanic shop, they do work on it. They don't do that. You know, they don't clean up the grease marks or anything like that, maybe on the rocker panels or the bumper or anything like that. Nobody does that stuff. They just give it back to the customer. And to me, you know, I mean, it's just what it, I don't know, is what it is, I guess. But me, I would actually like to clean the vehicle up and give it back to its owner. That way it shows that, hey, I enjoyed working on this and I respect your things, and shows, you know, it shows respect. In my opinion, it shows respect. So I'm not going to charge him. Now, most places may end up charging, but I'm not going to charge for no wash. And I may do a polish job on it, probably it needs it, but I'm not going to charge him for all that because he already paid me to clean the interior. And one thing is with the interior, I'm probably going to pull the interior out and clean it a little bit more. I got to get a steam cleaner. I've already cleaned this carpet once, and this carpet, man, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Stained, I mean so bad stained. But so let's see here if I can find the lock here. I think that's it. Nope, other way. There we go. No, this door lock has issues too. There we go. Yeah, the door locks are having issues, but the stain's a little bit better. It really needs to be steam cleaned. But this, if y'all would have seen this carpet before, man, y'all would have been like, holy shit, it's dirty. But the seats, I've cleaned the seats and everything. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm thinking about pulling the carpet and actually just do a deep clean in the carpet and actually get this thing looking its all-time best before it goes back to the customer. That's just the way I am. I'd rather, if I know I'm greasy or whatever, I don't really like being inside of a vehicle while my shoes and stuff are dirty and my pants are greased up and stuff. But just for appreciation purpose, I want to get this thing cleaned up so that way it's immaculate when it, you know, gets back to him. So that's where I'm at on it, and that's where I'm going to be doing. So he probably won't be getting this truck back probably by, I don't know, spring, maybe summer. So, but that's what it's going to be, and that's what I'm working with. I'll be making some YouTube videos on this truck so that way y'all can actually see some progress coming along on it, and hopefully y'all might learn something, hopefully. So, all right guys, I've done made this video long enough. Y'all have a good day. God bless and be safe.